After 1 month of looking around and visiting different half-cut shops in KL, there's finally a suitable E36 sunroof for saloon at Raja's. Most of these sunroofs are imported from Japan. While at the shop, he also tried to sell me the idea to convert my E46 into an M3 version. They managed to get the front and the back ends of the car. It looks really nice though. At the S54 engine up close really is a sight to behold. Hopefully one day I could say to myself I own one of this baby.
Oke lah ini sudah start. Oke cantik.
With no time to waste, I asked them to upload the sunroof into the car. And you actually need an answer to fit in, and even with this answer, it's just nice. One thing that I overlooked was the shredded glass that is on the edge of the sunroof, and it's really very dangerous though. At the end, while offloading the sunroof, I had to vacuum the answer, and the small shredded pieces of the front and rear windscreen is hard to clear even with a vacuum. As I'm going to store this at home to deal it when I'm free, safety is first, especially when you have kids at home. So I tape the edge where there are broken windscreen glass with a masking tape. During the process, I had to empty the driveway and constantly sweep the floor to pick up shattered glass. The small glass actually caught in between my slipper and my foot few times. So lesson learned, try to clear it at the shop before bringing it home. I've devised a workflow to do this repair. The first step was to dismantle the sunroof gasket from the half-cut roof. I'm doing this step first rather than dismantling the sunroof on the actual car is because I just want to be sure that this sunroof that I got is functioning well. Another advantage is that I can use this as a platform to learn the steps to dismantle the sunroof on the actual car. At this stage, I can afford to make mistakes. The initial inspection of the sunroof gasket seems okay. One thing that struck me the most was the weight of the unit itself. It's really heavy. Okay, it's getting really late at night, so let's call it a day. To dismantle out the actual car sunroof, I've divided the workflow into 3 major sections shown here. In the description, I will show the timestamp of each step. First is to take out the front seats for 2 simple reasons: to give you more space to work with and to allow you to orientate the headliner later on. You need a ratchet, a T50 Torx screw, 17mm for the seat and 16mm for the B-pillar guide. For this, you need to move the seat front and back in order to access the 4 bolts that holds down the seat to the chassis. After you have freed the seats, you will have to maneuver it out of the car. Warning, this maneuver will not only break your back, but the seat rails will surely hit some of the plastic trims around, especially the B-pillars. The T50 Torx is used to release the seatbelt anchor from the seat unit itself. After removing this anchor, we remove the door rubber seal. One trick that I've learned is to start prying off the rubber seal from the middle and towards the side and downwards to the car. It will be much easier this way. Before we can start removing the headliner, we need to remove the A, B and C pillar of the car. With the age of this car, it should not come to a surprise that we start to break the plastic trims. Most common breakout points happen at the fastener or the clip area. Be sure to glue it back. To fully remove the seatbelt from the B pillar, we will need to remove this tab. Try to apply some force but gentle at the same time. It can be released by pushing the push tab button at the bottom. Now after removing the B pillar, this is how it looks like. Definitely more workspace for us to move around. Because the B pillar comes with a single piece, and removing it surely breaks it into these big pieces as shown. Make sure we keep the small pieces that was broken off during the dismantling process. As you can see, the passenger side is more broken than the driver's side. Now this is the C pillar of the E36. The C pillar is wrapped in a fabric-like material, and it does help to protect the whole plastic from cracking. And this is the real insulation behind the C pillar. The clips of all three pillars has been broken off while dismantling it. You can see the discoloration of the plastic bits, really brittle. I've hot glued some parts of the clip back into the C pillar. What happened is that BMW clips the plastic bit into the metal clips. Even at this stage, I failed to separate it off. So here are some of the bits and pieces of plastic while I'm removing the trims from the car. Try to keep these bits and see whether you can glue it back. After removing all A, B and C pillars, we can now remove the sun visors and grab handles with a common Phillips screwdriver. If you have a manual sunroof mechanism like me, you need to remove the covers with Torx. And if you have an electrical unit, just pop up the panel and disconnect the switch. And don't forget to remove the center light connection too. After removing the sunroof internal liner gasket and the remaining door seals, you are ready to tap away the headliner. To free the liner, gently wiggle off at the edge of the liner with care. You don't want to spoil the headliner. Slide the headliner backwards towards the windscreen as it's tucked inside the windscreen. If everything is done right, gravity will help you do the job. Maneuvering the headliner out of the car is not a hard job, it just takes some planning. Now, with the front seat removed, we can have more workspace to do and remove the liner. Finally, the sunroof casket is revealed in all its glory. From here on is a straightforward job. Over here you can see watermark on the underside of the sunroof casket. This water seepage may be originated from the joint at this area. Same watermark stain can be seen on the other side. First, remove the 14 Torx T25 screw on the perimeter of the sunroof. The sunroof casket is only held at these 3 points to the chassis. Before that, release the drain pipes from all the corners so that it will not be damaged while removing it. Remove the 2 pins at the rear and slide the sunroof casket towards the back to release it from the front pocket. Be careful when you're taking the sunroof casket out. Make sure you are ready for the weight. It is best to do it with a partner. If you don't have, you end up like me. After putting the sunroof aside, these were the condition of the rust at the side of the sunroof. In the previous video, we talked about the C-type gasket that was used in the earlier model. I've lost the footage of the sanding and dealing with the rust, but nevertheless, I sand down the rust with sandpaper. And I also apply rust stabilizer that I got from Mr. DIY. As recommended by Haziq, I applied rust on metal paint on the rust area. Then ACE Hardware was only selling the blue color. While taking out anything for replacement, it is always good to compare the replacement part with the original part side by side. While doing this, I spot evolution and changes made to improve the sunroof. However, after comparing, I also found out that the half-cut sunroof was missing a stopper at the end. This stopper is to prevent the inner liner to pull too far back behind. So with this, I took an aluminium U-channel piece that was laying around my house and epoxy glue into the half-cut sunroof. It worked during the testing phase. Hope it will last. After all this was done, thanks to Haziq for giving me a replacement sunroof gasket that he bought way back in 2019. Thanks again. Ensure the surfaces are clean before sticking the gasket. The secret here is to ensure full contact to the surface of the chassis. We can achieve this by putting in pressure when sticking it in. Sticking on straight lines is not a problem, but when reaching the 4 corners of the sunroof, make sure we give a bit more force while sticking it on. One trick that I always use before I fasten anything back is that I ensure the screws or bolts or nuts are lubricated. Over here I use a silicone spray so that it will not damage any rubber or plastic bits. This is not the best painting job in the world, but hopefully it get it done. Over here you can see the gasket is flush to the surface, and hopefully it will last. This is the manual mechanism for the sunroof opening that is on this car, and is held down by these two Torx bolts. And I can actually interchange this with an electrical system, but it needs some wiring work. Shown here, the hole closest to the camera is for the electrical module, and the one in the center is for the manual module. And now putting back the sunroof together into the car. While installing the first time around, I got the module upside down, so I will need to take it out again and rearrange it and reinsert it into the car again. Two clips behind left and right need to be tacked in place. And say the German really thought out of everything. So we connect the 4 drain hoses, make sure the sunroof is fit into its place. The seals are not bent or deformed and whatsoever during installation. I got that right. It's time to install the screws into the sunroof. It's a moment of truth to see whether the sunroof works. Thing to take note is the sunroof profile. Profiles are not straight, adjustment need to make on the height of the sunroof. I will link a link here for all to view. It is satisfied. I conducted a simple and primitive way of checking leaks through the sunroof if there's any. Use normal garden hose and to spray on the joint gasket area. Effort is just to check if there's any major leaks. Only major leaks. If there's minor leaks, hopefully it won't be that bad. Concentrate on the 4 sides of the drain pipe and the perimeter of the sunroof. Wait for the sunroof to be tested in actual rain because the weather during the MCO period wasn't that predictable. Right, with this initial minor leak test, I've decided to install the liner back into the car. Second pairs of hand at this moment is really a helpful one. This stage you will need to screw and hold the liner up in place so that it will not sag. Getting the screw at two corners, the rest is easy. To the end, thank you guys for joining me thus this far. Hopefully you enjoy this video. Don't forget to click like, subscribe and share this video. See you again. Bye.